still continue to have a loss of the number of farmers in the European Union by a concentration of dimension of farmers. But what we also observed these last 3 years, that despite of the crisis, or maybe because of the crisis, mainly in the member states affected by the crisis, in agricultural sector, the number of jobs were maintained rather stable or even increased in some countries, in some rural areas. We registered in some member states an increasing of the demand of the young farmers installation or farmers installation more than the average in the past. So this means that in the crisis situation, agricultural sector can be a sector, how to say, refugee sector for some people losing jobs maybe in other sectors. But what is more important and more significant for me is that the added value, the real added value in agriculture has dropped these last 15 years. So from 15 years, the added value in agriculture sector, in direct agriculture production has dropped. So the objective now that we have is how to stimulate the sector in order to increase the added value in agriculture, because increasing added value means also increasing the income in agriculture. So of course this could be a problem of repartition of added value through the food chain, but we also need to increase the quality of the products and the added value of the products sold by the farmers directly, and of course to increase the production in some sectors in a sustainable way. So this why now after the reform of the Common Agricultural Policy that we just conclude, the objective is to stimulate farmers by investing in agriculture, by investing in modernization, by investing in innovation, in the transfer to the practices of research, results coming from research, by diversifying the production to increase the added value at the level of the farmer, and to increase the productivity but in a sustainable way. And this is why the objective of this reform was to stimulate a competitiveness of European agriculture in economic terms, but also in ecological terms. And this is why we decided to maintain direct payments, but to redefine the utilization of these direct payments, and also to modernize our market management instruments, orienting these market management instruments more through the role of the farmers and the farmer organizations more than the public intervention on the market. So to reinforce the capacity of the farmers to answer to the market signals, but on the same time to be able to prevent a crisis situation or to manage crisis situation when crisis situation arrives. So reform is now, the negotiation for the reform, as you know, are now closed. Now it's the time of the member states' decision in order to implement some flexibilities that they have in the reform of the CAP, mainly regarding the direct payment system, but also to elaborate the rural development programs. After a discussion with the Minister of Agriculture from Greece, who ensured the presidency of the Council, we decided to propose to the Council, one of the Council of Ministers of Agriculture in the next month, to have a tour de table and a discussion about how the member states decided to implement the reform of the CAP in some items where the member states have the flexibility, in order to have a more clear picture about the decisions of the member states, and also the complementarity between utilization of the money in Pillar 1 for direct payments and in rural development. This was one of the objectives of this reform. The Commission, in parallel, are still working on the elaboration of the delegated acts, so the legislation, implementing legislation of the Common Agricultural Policy. The objective is to have a formal decision in the College of the Commission by the beginning of March. We have, of course, already started informal consultations with Member States on the content of this text. And for the first time, even if it is not requested by the treaty, I also decided to have this kind of consultation, informal consultation with the Parliament also, with Comagri, even on these technical aspects. Of course, the Parliament will have the possibility to express his opinion on the content of this implementing legislation, but only saying yes or not. And in order to avoid problems, I decided to have this consultation on the text with the Parliament also. The objective being to ensure the translation on the spot of the political decision on the reform, respecting also the legislative text decided during the reform. So the objective is to have this text ready for beginning of March, and then before the end of this legislature, the Parliament to be able to express his formal opinion on this text. Another priority that we have now on the agenda, and we will try to advance, is possible, if possible, to have a decision before the end of this legislature of the Parliament, is on the legislative proposal regarding the promotion of agri-food sector. As you maybe know, some weeks ago the Commission proposed a new legislative text on the promotional policy in agriculture and agri-food sector. We want to have a strongest and modern promotional policy in order to be able to support the development of our export capacity outside of European Union, the quality products, safe products, added value products. We propose to multiply by 3 the budget allowed for promotion in Europe in the next years up to 2020. Now we have more or less around 60 million euro per year for promotional actions, and the objective is to arrive in 2020 to a little bit more than 200 million euro per year for promotion. Of course, we will develop promotional actions on internal markets, promoting mainly what means quality products, what means European standards, to make aware our consumers about the standards that we have in terms of safety of food, in terms of quality of food, geographical indication, organic products, local products, and so on. But mainly to increase our capacity to promote our food products outside of European Union, and to use the opportunities of these trade agreements that we already conclude or we are negotiating for agriculture and agri-food sector, stimulating mainly the export of added value, export of elaborated products and quality products. So these are, let's say, the priorities for the next months, with the implementation of the reform of the CAP, adoption of rural development programs, but also to work with the Parliament and the Council on this promotional regulation. Of course, we will have other legislative proposals until the end of the mandate of this Commission, but these are the main let's say the main proposals.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. We'll move straight into questions now. We have 2 ladies with microphones, and I've seen there's already one question in the middle at the back from German radio.
Unser Landwirtschaftsminister, Bundeslandwirtschaftsminister Hans-Peter Friedrich hat heute Morgen gesagt, das war ich glaube zu schnell für die Übersetzung, Entschuldigung. Also unser Landwirtschaftsminister Hans-Peter Friedrich hat heute Morgen gesagt, dass er dafür plädiert, auf den ökologischen Vorrangflächen den Einsatz von Pestiziden und Dünger zuzulassen in einer abgewogenen oder wie auch immer vorgeschriebenen Form, aber es soll grundsätzlich zugelassen werden. Was sagen Sie dazu? Und dann würde ich eben gerne noch erfragen, es gibt sehr, sehr viel Kritik und sehr viel Sorgen, dass mit dem US-Freihandelsabkommen die Standards in Europa gefährdet sind. Und hier mehren sich auch die Stimmen gegen das Abkommen.
Yes, on ecological focus area, we are working now on this delegated act with implementing legislation, and what it will be content in this implementing legislation will be that we will ask to the member states to define rules to use this ecological focus area or to cultivate some crops in this ecological focus area, ensuring that agricultural practices for these crops in ecological focus area contribute to increasing of the biodiversity and the quality of soil. So we'll not go into details regarding whether yes or not, or the quantity of products or another, or what kind of technology to use, but a member states, when we'll define the rules, specific rules for a crop for another, will have to be able to prove that these practices will increase the biodiversity and the quality of soil. This is what the Basic Act asks, and this is what we will introduce in this text. We decided to not put some general rules decided at European level for this, because for this kind of very technical aspects and practical aspects, we have differences between the quality of soil, the types of soil, of the vegetations, between Finland and Spain, or France and Germany and Italy and Poland and so on. And we are not able to establish a level playing field about what kind of technologies to apply, taking into account the crops also that the farmers will decide to cultivate on this. So this is why if Germany, when they will elaborate the specific rules, will be able to prove that these technologies that they will allow on these areas will contribute to the improvement of the biodiversity and the quality of soil, will be okay. If not, of course, we cannot accept such a proposal. So it's up to the member states to prove, taking into account the specific situation of a region or another, or a crop or another. Regarding TTIP, I want to ensure you, and I can do this together with the Commissioner Antonio Borg, which is in charge with food safety and the standards, that we will be very attentive, and it's very clear for us that we do not intend to renounce to the level of our standards regarding the safety of food and regarding the quality of food. And here also President Barroso was very clear in his statement when he announced the launch of these negotiations that in agriculture we do not intend to negotiate our decision to not use hormones on the beef production, or to not allow cloning in Europe, or to not respect our rules and our legislation regarding GMO. And all other rules regarding the safety or food or environmental rules, we are not intend to renounce to these standards, because we are aware that these standards means also the confidence of our consumers in European food, and not only our consumers in Europe, but also all across the world. The famous of made in Europe in agri-food sector means also these standards in safety, in quality, in diversity of food.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Busemann von der Nachrichtenagentur, Reuters. Herr Kommissar, 2 Fragen. Rechnen Sie mit der Zulassung des Genmaises 1507? Und zweite, gehen Sie davon aus, dass es auch in diesem Jahr zu einer Preissteigerung für Lebensmittel sich fortsetzen wird? Und meinen Sie, dass das die Konjunktur in der Union beeinflussen könnte?
So on genetically modified maize, I cannot go into details because I do not know this dossier so much. As you know, it's the portfolio of my colleague Tonio Borg, who is here, in fact, in Nevoche. So maybe you can put this question in more details aspects. But what I can say as a member of the college is that now with this variety of maize, is up to the council to decide, the ministers, because never the commission took a political decision in this issue. Every time the proposal for a legislation regarding variety or another was based only on scientific assumptions, scientific analysis, and then the political decision is with the member states or with the parliament in more general aspects. So it depends on what the member states will decide whether they want or not the introduction in the culture of this variety. But Commissioner Tonio Borg can maybe give you more details on this if you want more clear answer. On the prices of food, what I can say, of course, price of food do not depend only of the level of production or not depend only of the farmers. As you know, the difference of price is sometimes from the level of the price paid to the farmers and level of the price paid to the consumers. We have all the food chain involved. So other factors than the situation in agriculture and the level of production can influence the price of food. What I can say is that with the common agricultural policy, we have the instruments in order to support the farmers to maintain and to develop the level of production and to not affect the prices of food for the consumers because of the level of the production.
Thank you very much. There's another question over there. Perhaps I could just add, I was talking to my colleague who covers food safety issues about the 1507, and he confirmed to me yesterday that the deadline is actually the 12th of February. And it's by then that the Council, the Member States, are supposed to reach an agreement. So we're not yet there. But as I say, that's a Sanko food safety.
Oberösterreich, ich bin selber Landwirt, betreibe Landwirtschaft. Eine Frage, Herr Kommissar, und zwar zur Liberalisierung des Milchmarktes. 2015 soll der Milchmarkt liberalisiert werden. Wie sehen Sie die Auswirkungen auf den Milchpreis und die Liberalisierung, beziehungsweise im Zusammenhang mit dem Freihandelsabkommen mit der USA? In den USA hört man nämlich, dass hier eine Margenzahlung im Plan steht. Das heißt, dass die Bauern auch massiv unterstützt werden sollen. Wie wird sich das aufwirken? Die zweite Frage auch in diesem Zusammenhang. Es wird natürlich in den USA zu 100% Hormonfleisch hergestellt. Sie haben gesagt, hier wird genau darauf geachtet werden. Die Frage, die sich hier stellt, verarbeitetes Fleisch, Getreideprodukte mit genverarbeitetes Fleisch, also Lasagne oder verschiedene Fleischprodukte, Verarbeitungsform, hier ist ja auch Hormonfleisch. Wie wird kontrolliert, beziehungsweise was noch wichtiger ist, welche Sanktionen werden setzen, wenn so etwas passiert? Danke.
If you find anything, if there is anything happening, if there is an incident, are there any sanctions planned in such a case?
So on this last question with hormone in some processed products, unfortunately I cannot answer it to you because it's an issue linked to food safety, not to the common agricultural policy. So it is not, I do not have the element to answer to you, but as I mentioned, Commissioner Antonio Borgo services surely can give you more details on this, how they control this kind of importation. On milk, market liberalization, now the prices are good for milk in Europe and in the world, and the perspective for the next year seems to be a very favorable one, because the demand increase also in some developing countries, in some emerging countries, and this demand which increase
sunteți? Baia Mare.